Alrighty, hello and welcome to the NNP Symposium. Thank you everyone for joining us. So for this hour, we are going to premiere the feature video that we produced for this year's symposium, which is on the Hansen Collection. And then after that, we will have a Q&A with John Brush, who's here with me. So John, if you'd like to introduce yourself a little bit and explain how you're connected to the Hansen Collection.
Hi, my name's John Brush. I'm the president of David Lawrence Rare Coins and also the curator of the Hansen Collection. Deloy is our partner and part owner at David Lawrence, and in return for his work with us as a company, I in turn work with him in the collection. My job is really just to help organize and help lead and help acquire some of the more interesting rare pieces and to work as his representative to other dealers when necessary and his advisor during auctions. So, you know, I've had the pleasure of adding many of these coins, most of these coins to the collection. I've also had the pleasure of working in organizing and putting them together. But Leanna, we appreciate your help with this video and kind of thought it would be an interesting way of showcasing Deloy and his thoughts on the collection as well. Since I've had the opportunity to do it before, I figured it would be a fun opportunity for him to do the same. So,
Alrighty, then I'm going to pull up the video here in just a moment. The video itself is about 30 minutes long, just so everyone is aware. The first section talks some about Eliasberg, and then we get into the Hansen Collection because the two are very linked, as you will see as we get into it. So let me pull that up. We will be doing questions at the end, so you don't need to send them in early. But when we get to the end, you'll just use that Q&A button at the bottom of your screen to type them and send them in. So let me pull up the video. There we go. Collectors find their motivation from multiple sources. Some seek to bring order to a little understood area of numismatics, while others get caught up in the competitive aspect of having a better collection than the person next door. An active collector who's attracted a lot of attention for his public quest to build a collection to rival and even surpass that of Eliasberg is Deloy Hansen. He entered the numismatic market in earnest in 2016, and has already assembled a stunning collection that's only a few pieces away from completion. However, before taking a dive into the accomplishments of Hansen, it's worthwhile to explore the numismatic history that led to this endeavor. The concept of completion has been a powerful force in shaping collector behavior for years, and the explosion of coin boards in the 1930s was greatly responsible for imprinting the idea of completion among today's numismatists. David Sundman summed this up well in saying, "Coin boards, coin folders, and albums create clear paths for collectors, making a complex hobby easier to understand and making it easy to feel successful. I can do this. Put an album in front of a collector and natural desire is to fill in the holes." Millions of coin boards have been sold since the 1930s, conveying the message to generations of collectors that the primary objective in collecting is set completion. Some boards were printed with the challenge, "Fill me if you can," and a few board manufacturers even offered to purchase completed sets from collectors. A typical offering was this Lincoln cent board, which contained openings for cents from 1909 through 1935. The series key, the 1909 SVDB, was set apart in the upper right-hand corner of the board. This trend continues to this day, with the publication of States quarter albums and the like. Coin boards, ironically, gained substantial popularity during the Depression, an era in which discretionary income was ostensibly at a minimum. A penny board offered an inexpensive form of entertainment, and, if a rare piece or two were located in pocket change, one might even make a profit on their coin board investment. Coin board production numbers are lost to history, but likely ran into the millions. These boards were popular enough that a local coin shortage was blamed on collectors filling coin boards from circulation. Another event that spurred coin collecting in the Depression was President Roosevelt's gold recall in 1933. Enacted shortly after he took office, Roosevelt's executive order required all citizens to turn over gold coins and gold certificates in exchange for their face value in federal paper money. Federal control over the nation's gold allowed the government to increase the money supply, which at that time required the Federal Reserve to hold gold reserves equal to 40% of the value of the circulating currency. Luckily, the gold recall contained a carve-out for numismatists, as gold coins having a recognized special value to collectors of rare and unusual coins were specially exempted. The gold recall caught the attention of Baltimore financier Louis Eliasberg, who felt that federal control of the nation's gold supply would lead to devaluation of the paper dollar. Eliasberg began accumulating gold coins as a hedge against inflation, but over time his collector instinct became the controlling factor in the growth of his numismatic holdings. The pivotal moment arrived in 1942, when Eliasberg had the opportunity to purchase the John H. Clapp collection for $100,000. Clapp was one of the first collectors to systematically pursue mint-marked coins, and his collection was especially rich in branch mint pieces. The thought of completing the entire U.S. coin series was now a real possibility. In the days before registry sets, or even the ubiquitous Guidebook of United States Coins, which was launched in 1946, there was no widely accepted definition of a complete set of U.S. coins. Eliasberg used Charles E. Green's 1939 checklist, entitled Mint Record and Type Table, United States Coins. Eliasberg worked with all the major dealers of the day, including Stax, B. Max Mell, and others. He completed his collection on November 7, 1950, with the acquisition of the unique 1873 cc No Arrows dime. Remarkably, Eliasberg had dropped out of the bidding when this coin appeared at auction a few months earlier, feeling that the coin was not worth the price it sold for. In the end, Eliasberg acquired the piece for $4,000, a small premium over the winning bid in the May 1950 sale. The completion of the Eliasberg collection generated enthusiastic publicity, most notably with national coverage in the April 27, 1953 edition of Life magazine. Life was a highly influential publication, with circulation as high as 13 million copies per week. The 3-page spread included key coins in the collection, many published in color for the first time. Life noted a number of unique pieces and remarked that not even the U.S. Mint can duplicate the collection. These Pop 1 coins included the 1870s $3 gold piece and the 1873 cc No Arrows dime. Other important coins included the 1822 Half Eagle, unique in collector hands, and of course examples of the 1913 Liberty Nickel and 1804 dollar, the two most storied American rarities. Eliasberg graciously shared his collection with the public and exhibited it at area banks in addition to a 4-month exhibition at the Smithsonian Institute in 1960. The final exhibition occurred after Eliasberg's death at the Philadelphia Mint in 1976 and 1977. Harvey Stack was instrumental in working with the Eliasberg family to secure a commitment for this exhibition. The public attraction was strong, and the New York Times repeated a 5-fold increase in the number of mint visitors during the exhibition. Following Eliasberg's passing in 1976, the collection passed to his sons, Louis Jr. and Richard. Louis elected to consign the gold portion of the collection to Bowers and Ruddy in 1982, while Richard sold the silver and other portions of the collection through Bowers and Morena in 1996 and 1997. The gold portion of the collection sold for $12.4 million in 1982. Highlights included the unique 1870s $3 piece, which hammered at $687,500, and the 1822 Half Eagle, unique in collector hands, which sold for the same amount. An 1854s Half Eagle, one of 4 known, sold for $187,000, while an ultra-high-relief 1907 Saint crossed the block at $242,000. The remaining Eliasberg U.S. coins, including colonial, patterns, copper, and silver coins, were sold in 2 sales by Bowers and Morena in 1996 and 1997. These two portions of the collection sold for a total of $31.4 million. Highlights included the 1913 Liberty nickel, which sold for $1.485 million, representing the record price for any U.S. coin at that time. The unique 1873 cc No Arrows dime sold for $550,000, while the famed 1804 dollar brought a record price of $1.815 million. The 1885 trade dollar, one of 5 known, sold for $907,500. While the Eliasberg collection is today firmly fixed in the public mindset as the only complete collection of U.S. coins ever formed, subsequent events create a rationale for reconsideration. The unique 1870s half dime, only discovered in 1978, was not present in the Eliasberg collection. The sole 1933 double eagle in private hands, declared legal to own in 2001, was not present in the Eliasberg collection, although he did at one time own an example that was surrendered to the Treasury Department. Moreover, Eliasberg did not treat mint state and proof coins as separate types. Although consistent with collector tradition of his era, today's collectors typically recognize this distinction. In recent years, the collectors Gene Gardner and Phil Kaufman have formed important collections around this theme. Regardless, the concept of completion remains synonymous with Eliasberg, and the Eliasberg collection sets the standard for anyone venturing a similar claim. Following the conclusion of the Eliasberg sales in 1997, most numismatists held that the idea of duplicating or improving upon Eliasberg's collection was simply impossible. Rather, the Eliasberg set was thought of as an alignment of the numismatic stars during an era in which the key pieces were relatively less valued. Coins that Eliasberg paid a few $1,000s for might sell for $1 million or more today. Enter Deloy Hansen. Born in Utah in the early 1950s, the young collector, like millions of others, filled Whitman folders from pocket change and other sources.
The early collections were when I was a kid. I'd go to the bank and get a roll of 50 pennies or a roll of nickels, and I'd open them up and go through it. And I'd look for silver nickels, 43s, and steel pennies, and just anything air. I used to collect S mint marks on pennies, and then I'd have these rolls of those that I'd find. I wasn't even doing full collections. But it was just a hunt. And it was always hard to find enough money to put back in the rolls so I could go get a new roll. So money was tight when you're in second grade, and every nickel was a nickel. You had to find another nickel to replace it with, and it wasn't all that easy, but it was fun. And I think a lot of us kids had quests. We got the Whitman albums and started filling in the holes, and I did pennies and nickels and dimes, quarters, and just had fun with it through elementary.
Remarkably, some of Deloy's childhood collection is preserved today, and includes the sort of circulated examples one might expect to see in such a collection, such as an 1887 Morgan or 1922 peace dollar. Like many collectors, Hansen took a break from collecting while launching a family and career. He founded the Wasatch Group in 1988, which manages a multi-billion-dollar portfolio of commercial and residential real estate. In recent years, Hansen has diversified into media, professional sports, medical research, and is active in many philanthropic efforts such as the Hansen Scholars Foundation. Hansen's return to collecting began in his 30s and took off in 2016, when the beginnings of his current endeavor came with the heritage sale of St. Gaudens double eagles.
I kind of went into a coin shop here in Salt Lake, all about coins in my 30s, and I thought, I like coins, I want to collect it, so I started a type collection, and I worked with a local dealer here to help go to coin shows and hunt for type coins. I filled in a type, and it was kind of weird because all of a sudden he was bringing me coins in these plastic holders, and I got, well, that doesn't fit in my book. So I had to break them open, tape that little sticker in the back of the book, and put them in the book. And I still have that book today, and it's got like 35 graded stickers in the back of it from when I was in my 30s. That was probably 25 to 30 years ago. When I went back to trying to collect an album, I thought, well, I love St. Gaudens. I love the beauty of that $20 gold piece, and I started just doing some. Barry in Los Angeles I bought on eBay some coins from him. I identified him there, and I was getting some St. Gaudens. He alerted me that there was an auction in LA, and I ought to go to it because it would fill in a lot of my set, and it was a good collection that was being auctioned. So I says, okay. So I went down to LA, and the auction was 4 hours late. So it's literally 11 at night when the $20 after everything else is done. Everybody's in the East Coast gone to bed. You know, it's 3 in the morning. And so we're sitting here bidding. I think I got 18 pieces for about 30% less than what I thought I'd have to pay. And kind of got bit by the bug that, well, this was fun. You know, an auction was a lot of fun, and winning the pieces and then seeing that they had value really kind of caught my attention. So the $20 St. Gaudens back in 2016 is what launched kind of the rebirth of saying, now what do I want to do? And very shortly thereafter, the AWA $20 Liberty Gold Collection was out there, and we negotiated and were able to buy that, which gave me almost a complete $20 gold collection from 1850 all the way to 1932. So I then fixated on, I could finish this, I could get this. The 27D St. Gaudens was a little dicey, and I got one of the top 7. I would say it's probably not the best of the top 7, but it does put me in the 27D club, so that let me complete the St. Gaudens collection. So I have a complete 20, barring the illegal ones. But that got me thinking, now what do I want to do? I got very interested in what would be a daunting challenge, because the $20 gold I thought was one of the hardest, and yet I was almost complete with that. And I'd read an article on Louis Eliasberg in Coin Magazine, and then I found one in Life Magazine about him, and I thought, that's interesting that he collected all the coins from 1792 official mint, date and mint mark, to 1964. He did miss 1 or 2. Even though they called it a complete collection, he was still a couple short. And I thought, I wonder how doable that would be. And I started doing a little research, and I thought, well, I could do that, but I could now take from 1964 and collect all the moderns to 2022. At the time it was 2018. And I thought, I'll do that. So I typed in on one of the PCGS registries, I'm going to start this daunting challenge to try to match Eliasberg. As I did research on the internet, I was on Sunday night, I would go into the DLRC website and study coins for my collection. And as I looked at it, he had a couple of the buttons wrong on the site that were kind of hard for me to find the coins. So I called him and I said, can you change your website and put a button here like this so that it's easier for me to find the coins? And so we got talking about how to improve the company so it would help collectors, you know, in the Sunday night auction. And I bought a lot of coins through DLRC. They had a good selection and a good method to research it. And so I was in a lot of Sunday night auctions just hoping nobody in the last 30 seconds outbid me. So he kept me on that website a lot because I had to watch it that I didn't get beat. Probably in 19, I made the hard decision that I'm really going to go for best in grade. I'm going to really start to scrutinize the top coins, you know, for each date and grade. And so I made a concerted effort to buy those coins and to upgrade to those coins. When I looked the other day, based on PCGS ratings, either the finest known soul or the finest known in a group, 38% of the collection is finest known. So when I look at it, I feel that Eliasberg and I are kind of sitting next to each other. So John Brush, my partner, bought me Eliasberg's pipe. So I now smoke this to Eliasberg that we're kind of sitting as kind of almost co-equals, but my goal was to build a collection of a higher grade. And while it's hard to compare because grading services weren't available in Elias's time, I do think that the average coin in the D.L. Hansen collection compared to the Eliasberg is probably a better grade.
To this day, Brush acts as the collection manager and curator and represents Hansen in the acquisition of additional pieces. The Hansen collection today is vast, with the size most recently reported at greater than 12,000 pieces at the end of 2019. In only 5 years, Hansen has come remarkably close to duplicating Eliasberg's complete set of U.S. coins, though he's quick to say that he hasn't done it alone.
Well, I have a team, and I first want to introduce Diana before I introduce Carol and Judy, because we're a 4-member team here in Utah that work on the coin collection. I know who does the work, and I know who gets the credit. It should be Carol and Judy and Diana. They do the heavy lifting for me, and I couldn't be more grateful.
We were all self-taught numismatists, and we were so excited when John came in, because even some of the coins we didn't know very well, we'd made up names for. And it was so great to learn the real names on some of these lesser-known coins. So very much from the ground up, we learned all of this. So it's pretty unique to be thrown into the #1 collection with no true experience, aside from the collecting I did with him as a child. But this scale, it's pretty intimidating and also kind of awe-inspiring to be involved with it at this level.
Ronnie Curran maintains the Hansen Watch thread on the PCGS US Coin Forum and has performed extensive research into the Hansen Collection as documented in the PCGS set registry. At the beginning of 2021, Curran reported that Hansen was missing only 13 pieces, 6 of which are unique or unique in private hands. Hansen's goal of completion, however, is that set by the PCGS registry set, US Coin Complete Basic Set, circulation strikes from 1792 to present, of which he's only missing 2 pieces. While the Eliasberg quest is certainly a compelling aspect of the Hansen collection, Hansen himself states that his collecting goal is to build complete sets and have fun. As with Eliasberg, some of these sets come piecemeal and some come all at once. Sets that Hansen has purchased include the previously mentioned AWA set of Liberty Double Eagles, Bruce Moreland Liberty Seeded Dollar set, the Crismore Seeded Halves, the Loris Berber set of 3-cent silver pieces, parts of the Linda Gale collections of Franklin halves and Eisenhower dollars, as well as the Perfection collection of proof Barber halves and proof trade dollars. The Moreland Hansen seeded dollars were virtually unimprovable and represent the finest known example of nearly every coin in the set. Even then, Hansen has found a way to improve the collection by acquiring several additional rarities. Hansen, with John Brush, have chosen to make his holdings public via the PCGS set registry.
Well, one, I think coin collecting is not a secret at all. I see zero reason to have that. I think for security reasons, maybe there's some merit to that, but for coin collecting should be a joint endeavor. We're all in this together. I was enthralled to go in and look at PCGS. I studied a $3 gold collection. I went and met the owner of that in Philadelphia. So, meaning because I saw it on PCGS and was so overwhelmed with it, I wanted to meet the owner. And I think just owning something and hiding it has zero relevance to me. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me, because the thing is to share. If there's something here that we can share with each other, because I'd love to look at other people's sets and see what they have. And it's not for competitive reasons, it's just to appreciate the work that they've done. I do think being public has been a net advantage, because it lets people look and say, I have something to help you. And the beautiful thing of any negotiation, you can say yes or no. And so I think that the values people have offered me, and other dealers in particular, has been very fair.
As noted, Hansen prefers to think of his collection as a group of sets, rather than a completely focused attempt to duplicate the complete U.S. collection formed by Eliasberg. The $20 Liberty Head Gold set is illustrative. This is an extensive series running from 1850 to 1907, and the PCGS set registry includes 149 pieces in the circulation strike set. Few even attempt this set, as the bullion value of the gold alone runs well into 6 figures. The Hansen set naturally includes all 149 pieces, and of these, 90 coins represent the highest graded example at PCGS. Most collectors would be more than satisfied to own even a single top pop, and the inclusion of 90 such pieces in the Hansen set is staggering. Hansen's commitment to continual upgrading is strong, and he owns an additional 26 pieces for which only one finer example is known. Of course, most collectors' eyes are first drawn to the major rarities in the US series. The $1804 is perhaps the most famous of American coins and has been recognized as a major rarity since the 1840s. This piece was acquired by Hansen in June of 2018 and is traced back to Joseph Mickley, an important 19th century Philadelphia collector. This example is a Class I $1804, part of the original group struck. Later restrikes, while still quite valuable, are not as highly regarded. The 1894 S dime is another American rarity. This piece was acquired by Hansen in August of 2019 and is one of 9 known. The 1894 S dime was promoted by B. Max Mell and others, and is best known for the tale of the ice cream example, said to have resulted when a young girl, the daughter of the superintendent of the San Francisco Mint, spent an 1894 S dime on ice cream. Whether or not the story is true, the coin has captured the attention of numismatists for well over a century. This exact same example was also in the Eliasberg collection. One of Hansen's favorite coins is the 1907 extremely high-relief St. Gaudens $20 gold piece. Many collectors consider this the most beautiful of all U.S. coins. President Theodore Roosevelt was personally involved in the engagement of the artist Augustus St. Gaudens, who reworked U.S. coin designs in the early 20th century. These extremely high-relief examples of his $20 gold piece required 7 blows of the coining press to bring up all of the detail, with annealing required between each strike. 20 examples are known, and enthusiastic bidder activity accompanies any appearance at auction. Naturally, the Hansen example is the finest known. The 1884 and 1885 trade dollars are well-known U.S. rarities that conclude the run of proof trade dollars dating from 1873 to 1885. 10 pieces were struck in 1884 and 5 coins in 1885. The origin of these pieces is not completely clear, but current thought is that the 1884 was an official issue of the U.S. Mint, while the 1885 was not. Hansen's examples include a beautifully toned, finest known 1884 and the finest known 1885, which was acquired in January of 2019. While rarities get all the attention, Hansen continues to work away on all of his sets, even those that might not immediately grab the eye of a U.S. collector. Hansen's proof Liberty nickels, not including the ultra-rare 1913, are a good example. Hansen enjoys building even relatively lower-cost sets such as this, and seeing how his collection stacks up against the competition in the PCGS set registry. Hansen's set consists of all 31 pieces, of which 9 represent finest known examples graded by PCGS, while another 5 represent the second finest known. Hansen's overall set ranks second on the PCGS set registry.
The proof Liberty 50-cent collection is one that I pulled out numerous times. Can't remember how many coins are in it, maybe 20, 22 proof coins. But when it's laid out, the toning and the beauty of those proofs just never ceases to take my breath away that it's art. And I've looked at each one, and every one of them is a piece of art. So toned coins that are toned in a really special way, not just some toning, but they take on a rainbow hue or a round or a gold or a blue. All of a sudden you bring color and shimmering. So the proof, $50 Liberty set is just stunning to me. The Barber set too. So a lot of great coins, but those have true character.
Remarkably, some of the most difficult sets to complete are not the classic 18th and 19th century sets that immediately come to mind. Rather, the modern issues from 1964 and up present their own challenges, which many might overlook. The Washington Quarter Registry set, covering the period of 1965 to 1998, is instructive. At the MS-67 level, the surviving populations in many cases are 20 pieces or less, and, because of the lower price points, one has to compete with a larger number of collectors to acquire these pieces. The Hansen set, listed on the PCGS set registry, is currently ranked number 3 among the top sets. As he's upgraded pieces and acquired duplicates, Hansen has begun selling the replaced examples through DLRC.
And it's really important to me that we don't hoard coins, that we help others build great sets. And I look forward to the day when the coin collection can be in other hands. So that it's great, but I do relish my daughter Diana.
Yeah, as he's been doing this, as we've been building the #1 set, we've built complete second and third sets. There's some of the top grade coins. So it's just a never ending cycling through the new coins and getting rid of the old, even though we don't want to. You have a hard time getting rid of the old?
We really do emotionally have a hard time when we pull a coin that's been in the set, because it's kind of like a family member that's been in the set, and now you're leaving and you kind of feel, I'm sorry you're leaving that, and we put them in that. We require that David Lawrence treat these family members with loving care and bring them to new homes. So coins are history. The coin itself becomes a point in history, and it's been in the collection and it's been important to us. And so when we were looking at some the other day, 67 plus, 67 plus, and having to decide, in some cases we kept them as twins. We just couldn't send a family member out of the collection.
In addition to making his collection accessible on the PCGS set registries, Hansen has also exhibited certain portions of the collection publicly. David Lawrence Rare Coins, on behalf of Hansen, exhibited selections at the 2018 ANA convention in Philadelphia, including the seeded dollar collection purchased from Bruce Moreland, an 1854 Type II gold dollar in PCGS Proof 64 Plus Deep Cameo, a 1901 S quarter in PCGS MS 68 Plus, and an 1873 CC No Arrows quarter in PCGS MS 64, one of 5 pieces known. DLRC has also displayed the Proof Trade Dollar Collection, the entire Barber Half Collection, Circulation Strike and Proof, and are currently displaying the complete Seeded Quarter Collection. Pieces of the collection were also displayed at the Utah State Capitol for several months, with a theme based around the 150th anniversary of the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad, which happened in northern Utah at Promontory Point. When the primary Hansen collection is eventually sold, all proceeds will go to charity to support a variety of social causes.
I told my kids, I'm giving you a collection now, but everything in the main collection of my passing will go into the foundation automatically for tax purposes, and then it'll be liquidated for charitable purposes. And my goal is that collection will fund 20 to 25 million a year of charitable purposes, you know, at my passing. So I'll have fun building the value, and my children will have fun giving it away.
Deloy Hansen has built an unparalleled collection in only a few short years and has no intention of slowing down. While the Eliasberg quest draws considerable notice, Hansen still approaches collecting with the objective of completing individual sets in the finest condition possible. Hansen's transparent approach to collecting has generated substantial public interest in numismatics and represents a unique gift to the collecting community. We look forward to following the continued numismatic achievements that will be represented by the Hansen Collection. Alrighty, then that wraps up our video premiere. So you are welcome to go ahead and send questions into the Q&A. It should be at the bottom of the Zoom window on your screen. If you move your mouse around, the buttons will pop up. You can click on the Q&A and type questions in there. I will not be reading off your names, so whether or not you choose to submit them anonymously is up to you. There's a little checkbox if you're overly concerned, but names will not be shared. So feel free to send them in. In the meantime, we have one in here already. Let's see. Just wanted to say I admired the Hansen-proof Barber quarter auction last weekend on DLRC. Beautiful pieces. I noticed it was a complete set. Does this mean Deloy has specimens in higher grades, or does he keep the prettiest ones he likes? Because I can't imagine a prettier set than those I saw on Sunday.
Well, I started to respond to this one during the video, since I've seen the video like 4 times now. But then I figured this would be a good intro question. Joe, thanks for asking. Good question. And I actually have another question that was emailed to me that I'll follow up with it. But the answer to it is the coins that you have seen DLRC sell recently, including the Proof Barber Quarter Collection, those are actually the number 3 coins in his set. So in the past 2.5 years, we've been gleaning off a lot of the, and we've been saying duplicates of it, they're actually the triplicates and quadruplicates. So as we've upgraded the sets over the past 6 years, these are the coins that have been replaced. So the Barber quarters you saw were actually the number 3 pieces. The number 1 set is amazing. The number 2 set is fantastic as well. And that's what's so, it's kind of an embarrassment of riches. And, you know, the whole process is that we want to share the coins, but yet we also have to keep the number 1 coins intact. So, you know, as Deloy said, you know, letting each child leave the house slowly and making sure they have a good home is a kind of an important process to him. But right now it's just been the number 3 coins that have been sold. And before we get to the next question, I'll follow up with the one that was emailed to me because it was a good question. That was very similar. Why are there so many deaccessions from the Hansen collection? This is from a collector, Steve, in California. It seems as if you're selling a lot of coins. I'm assuming it's for a similar reason that I have with my collection. When I started collecting fractional currency, I would buy 1 or more rare notes when they came up as I could afford them, not knowing if I would ever find another. And then he would just improve along the way. And that's the shortened version of the question, but it's exactly why. Initially, Deloy's goal was towards completion, and it wasn't necessarily for quality, as he mentioned in the video. And as quality became an important part of it, he said, you know what, let's upgrade these and buy the finest we can. So as that would happen, he would upgrade a piece at a time sometimes. And there are some coins that we have, I mean, this is kind of funny, statehood quarters and modern Lincoln cents, and we have 5 or 6 of something because we didn't keep a good enough track in the inventory at that time of what was coming in and what he had bought and what we had bought. So yes, it's as you upgrade piece by piece, and eventually you want to sell off the duplicates. And it was a labor of love to sort out all of the duplicates, because I can tell you that I spent the greater part of multiple visits for 2 years trying to organize the primary coins, the secondary coins, the third and fourth coins. And this was in between visits with the Diana, Carol, and Judy were putting in, doing the same thing, but I would kind of come in and finish off the work when they had questions on varieties and other things. But there was a lot of time that went into this, and it's kind of it's been fantastic. It's amazing, but it would be hard to explain the number of hours that went into that.
Alrighty, does the Hansen collection contain any of the U.S. Philippines series?
That is a very good question, Harry. No, it does not. We have not acquired coins in general that were U.S. issued. You know, same, I guess, could go with Cuban coins. But, you know, the basis with the PCGS set registry that we formed, the ones that we were utilizing, we did not expand to that. Could it happen? Sure, it could happen one day, but it's not something that we've looked at this point.
I think there may have been a Philippines coin in his childhood collection, if you want to count that one.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe we need to get that one certified. PCGS will be very happy.
When will the seated quarter set next be exhibited?
Looking at the ANA show, probably. We were planning on having it in Baltimore, but they had a changeover in their security team. So we were a little bit nervous there and weren't sure what the reception would be there. But we had the Mint State seated quarter collection at the last Baltimore show, I guess in November. And we actually have the proof set that we want to display. So probably looking at doing that at the upcoming ANA show. I think it's in Rosemont in August, but that's our tentative plan.
Okay, there's a very similar question here, which I think you've basically answered. But will any of his collection be on display at the upcoming Central States show?
No, we will not be displaying at the Central States show. I am not going to be able to attend for myself, unfortunately, because I am having a shoulder repair surgery. Well, I'm not scheduled to attend unless my doctor allows me to. But because of that, we didn't set it up to do it in advance. We didn't have a large enough display area or showcase to set it up. We're looking at our goal to exhibit these collections is looking for major shows to do it. And Central States is in between to the point of we've thought about it at times, but we really look towards doing fun show, ANA show, and the winter and fall Baltimore shows are kind of our targets. We've talked about doing it at Long Beach, but it just logistically doesn't quite work out for us with that.
Righty. Does Hansen pass on coins at auction due to the price being too high, for example, the 33 St. Gaudens? And if so, how does that square with the goal of completion?
Oh, two-part question here. Part A, part one. Yes, we absolutely pass on coins. And Leanna, if you don't mind not deleting the questions for another second while I'm in.
Sorry.
But you're fine.
Yes,
we absolutely pass on coins because of price, because there is we discuss prices and values on every coin that we're bidding in auction. Whether he agrees with me or not may be one thing, but we discuss it all and we have spreadsheets and we've done work and I've done a lot of price research. And yes, we have chased coins up to levels that we are very unhappy that we ended up buying, but there have also been times that we have stopped bidding on coins. I mean, the 1822-5, we were prepared to bid up to $5 million, which, you know, we thought was going to acquire because 1854 S5 fell into our laps at 1.9 million or something like that. And so you look at that and say up to 5 million, great deal. And we'd be happy with it. Well, the coin sold for 8 million. That's a lot of money, no matter where it's going from. That's a lot of money, but there's a fiduciary responsibility that I have in this, that we are mindful of values. There've been coins that we've missed out on. The 33 Saint, you know, the legal ramifications, and I'm not even going to go into that, but the legal ramifications of that coin are quite interesting. And there's a lot of discussion about the legalization of the other coins. Will they ever be made legal? Well, I know there's letters that say that the government said they won't do it, but there is an argument over which coins are. I'm being very careful with my words here because I don't want to get myself in trouble, but which coins are ones that should be legalized and not talking about 3320s, but other coins. But so yes, the fiduciary responsibility, the value is also important. And you know what? Now I look back at 1822-5 and say, if the market now, that coin would probably be a great deal at 8 million. But at the time that it sold, it wasn't worth that in our opinion. So we stopped. Hindsight's 2020, unfortunately.
Always. Alrighty, let's see. Eye appeal is really subjective. Does the Hansen collection have some number 1 graded coins, but also some number 2s or 3s with better eye appeal than the number 1s?
100% yes. Eye appeal is really subjective. And I had a collector that was just talking about a bust half today. And I'm not going to tell what the coin is because that I would be degrading a coin, but it's not ours. But there's a coin that someone asked, why don't you buy this coin that's available right now? And I said, you know what? It was an MS66 and our bust half is like a 64, somewhere along those lines, trying to be vague. But our 64 is 10 times nicer quality and eye appeal wise. So our goal is actually, we'd rather have the 64 than the 66. I mean, in theory, if the 66 was as pretty as the 64, sure. I mean, we'd love to go for it. But you have a responsibility of, we're not necessarily just looking for the finest stone, but we're looking for the prettiest and the coin we like the most. And that's happened a lot on certain sets. I mean, we might take a 60 I mean, and CAC enters into that conversation as well. I mean, originality is important, but the most important thing for a collector is collect what they like. And that's why I tell Deloy all the time is that, you know what, your taste is going to be different than mine, but I know what he likes and I know what some collectors like, and everybody has a different flavor that they prefer, you know, and that's the collector's prerogative. And that's, you know, kind of how we base upon, you know, our company, that every collector has a different taste and they're entitled to that. It doesn't make them wrong. They can collect how they want. And, you know, Deloy has certainly wanted to attack coins the way he likes and values eye appeal greatly.
Hey, how many coins does he plan on collecting? Is he planning on setting a cutoff year?
If there was a cutoff year, we've already passed it. And I would say that goal moves on a daily basis. How many coins does he plan on collecting? You know, we upgraded. I bought coins in auction the other night. I was, you know, upgrading coins for the $20 Liberty set and the 10 Liberty set and the 5 Liberty set. We were upgrading coins. You know, we probably bought 25 coins. So it's constantly, they say they describe the Constitution sometimes as a living document, I guess, depending on, you know, whatever, going into politics. But, you know, I describe this collection as a living collection. It's always changing. It's always growing. You know, we're selling off the duplicates as we go. And I wish I could say that there was a goal, but, you know, the goal is it's like any collector. You collect until you get tired of it. And, you know, he's shown no, he hasn't gotten tired of it. He enjoys it. And it's something that he enjoys doing with his family. And that's kind of that's a lot of importance to it for him as well.
Mm-hmm.
There's a question here. Are there plans to exhibit any other sets of his? Yes. And one thing that he did not mention in the video is that one day our goal is to do something like what the Tyrant Collection is doing, and to do some traveling exhibits to shows, as far as, you know, being able to display the coins and share them with other people. But absolutely.
What happens to Deloy's triplicates and quadruplicates if they don't sell on DLRC? Do they go to different auction houses?
No, they do not. They go to, no, I'm not advertising for everybody else here. No, just kidding. We keep them on consignment. We sell coins to our auctions and directly through our website. I mean, we have had coins that we've had for 2.5 years, but they haven't sold. And you know what? Now they sell 2.5 years later. He's not in a hurry to sell any of the coins, but we price them, we work on it, and they sell over time. But no, we haven't consigned them out. There have been coins that have appeared at other auction houses. It's because people have bought coins and then they've consigned them elsewhere. And, you know, that's any collector's prerogative. But anytime a coin sells, we're also happy to buy it back or take it back on consignment as well. So, you know, we've been doing this for 3 years. So coins do kind of enter the jet stream of numismatics, as I would say.
Mm-hmm. Does this collection contain any Hawaiian coins?
Hawaiian half, Hawaiian statehood quarters. No, it does not have any of the King Kamehameha coins, which I think are beautiful pieces. I would love to add the quarter, half dollar and cent to the collection, or dime. I mean, but no, it hasn't. It's along the lines of the Philippines and the Cuban coins. I mean, I'm sure he's had a couple, but over the years, but they're not part of the primary collection.
Do you know what type of software Mr. Hansen and his team use to keep track of this vast collection?
I do. I
thought you would.
We've gone through several different iterations of this, because this is the daunting part of the collection, is that we started off using the PCGS set registry software. And, you know, any of you guys that use it know how powerful it is. Well, problem is when you get over 12,000 items, it moves very slowly. And it becomes kind of unwieldy. That's why it's hard for us sometimes to make updates to the sets. PCGS has been working on this, and I know they're still working on this. We've talked to them a lot, and they've been great about helping us with it, but it does take time. They went to spreadsheets, and the spreadsheets were difficult to manage as well. Then we ended up using a coin dealer inventory software that was updated and kind of timed out from where we could use it. So we actually developed a software for him to use. It's based upon what we use here at DLRC. You know, when you get to a certain quantity of coins, that it can be, I mean, it's a daunting challenge. I mean, 12,000 of anything is unique items is very difficult to use. So yes, we had to develop his own software for him to use, and he's kind of our guinea pig on it to figure out a way that we can make this software usable for other collectors and dealers as well. He's our guinea pig on this project because he had to have it. You know, we've named the software Showcase, and one day we might have the guys that they're putting that together to do a presentation on NNP to show collectors how they can display their coins and organize them. I mean, I know not everybody has 12,000 coins. Trust me, I understand that, but it was kind of an interesting challenge. You know, it was a fun thing to work with him on because it was a project that, you know, we felt like we could add something to the collection that he couldn't do. So that was fun.
How often do you change which Hansen collection you display at shows?
It's purely logistical challenge. I mean, when at the Philadelphia show where we had all those coins on display that you highlighted in the video, the reason we were able to do that is we were picking up coins there. We picked up a ton of coins there to deliver, and Deloy was actually at the show, so we were able to give him one or two of the coins. We bring some coins. It was purely happenstance that we had, you know, some amazing coins, of seeded dollars, of proof trade dollars, and things like that. At the last year's ANA show, we had the proof trade dollars and the proof Barbara halves, and it was just because we were able to logistically work it out. You know, it's difficult to logistically move around large items of value, and that's why things like you know, armored car services and everything have to be planned, and depending on schedules and everything else, it becomes very difficult. So it really just turns out being how we can get it done, the time frame that it can get done, switching collections in and out, and working with, you know, we sometimes will have them in Virginia, sometimes they'll be in Utah, you know, per collection. So it's just kind of a revolving door of how, based upon my travels out there, based upon a lot of weird logistical issues. If there's ever a collection that you'd really like to see on display, though, I mean, email me at john@davidlawrence.com. I mean, we can certainly, I mean, I can't tell you we can do it, but I can tell you that we can certainly try.
Let's see. Okay, we have a few more questions about like specific collections. We'll see how this goes. Does he have a colonial type collection? And if so, do you know how many coins it contains?
I do not know how many it contains, but I don't know if you caught photos of this, and I didn't look closely enough in the video, but I know he has some Fujio cents and some other colonial items. I don't honestly know the answer to that, because those are the coins that got put into a box on the shelf that said, John, what are these? Because these were not standard US issues. And the team, Carol and Judy, who unfortunately weren't on the video, we were hoping to get them on there, but they didn't film it. They didn't film on the video with us, but you know, they looked at these and said, what are these? And they got put in a box up there. So they're on a shelf. I know I need to organize them a little bit better, but I've not jumped into that, so I don't know the answer to that. There's one question here, Leanna, that you're avoiding, and I think it's really hilarious. I'm gonna read it.
I was saving it for the end.
Okay, all right. I'll let you hold off,
as I know which one you're talking about.
Yes, I'm sure.
Is there any California gold in the collection?
I mean, you've got tutorial slugs, got Humberts, Kellogg, slugs. We do not have Cal fractionals in the collection. Oh my goodness, my eyes would be strained to death if I had to look through those. But that would be a fun challenge to put together, and I don't want to say affordable, but there are a lot of pieces that would be, but that would be a challenge. It's been done a couple times by other collectors, and I've seen the auctions, and they're cool, but they're small. But more along the lines of the large things that fit in maybe the PCGS top 50, top 100 coin collections. Those are the ones that we have.
Let's see. I saw the Tyrant collection last year and found it too overwhelming, too much to appreciate. Do you have a preference for displays that are more focused on a single type of coin or a single denomination?
You know, Deloy's response to one question you had in the video is something I hadn't thought about. I've been thinking about this for the last couple of days, is that he views it as a large group of collections, not a larger collection. And the way we've displayed them is I think we've actually displayed them along those lines inadvertently by saying, okay, these are individual sets or individual collections of series. And, you know, me as a collector, I've always collected a series. You know, I collected Buffalo nickels or Franklin halves, and I would always try to complete those sets before moving on to anything larger or a typeset or anything. So yeah, the Tyrant collection is amazing. It absolutely is overwhelming because, I mean, the coins are, I mean, it's just an out of this world display. You know, I don't pretend to say that we would put in all the time and effort it would take to put all of that kind of a display together. That is, I'd love to one day, but it's a whole nother job to put that together. So our preference is more of displays of collections or sets instead of the larger picture at this time. One day that could change.
Artie, you may or may not want to answer this one, but did you bid in the recent sale of the $20 1933 Double Eagle? Do you have a space reserved in the collection for this historic coin?
We absolutely bid on the coin. And, you know, it was not auctioned by your standard U.S. coin auction house. And the auction is handled a little bit differently. It's by a large auction company who did a very good job. They got a very high number on the coin. We did not, you know, we bid on it, but we were going to be much more conservative than what it brought because, as I said, we viewed that there were questions about not that coin, but about the 12 that the government still has and about possible other coins that are still in existence that the government does not have. I think I was big there. That we bid, we lost, but we expected to lose.
Fair. Let's see. I know we talked about this.
Wait. I didn't say, is there a hole for that coin in the collection? I mean, the word, that's a good question. We don't view it as incomplete because we don't have that coin. You know, that's the thing with Deloy. He's looking at it, you know, Eliasberg had holes that he didn't know that were holes. You know, is this coin really a hole? I mean, that's a subjective question, and that's a very good question, but we don't really view it as a hole, but, you know, we would still love to have one.
We talked about this some in the video, but we'll just give you a chance to ruminate on it a little more. Has Hansen been interested in pursuing 21st century issues?
Oh, heavens, yes. The bane of my existence is our 21st century issues, because a lot of these coins are coins that they're not worth getting graded. I mean, you know, all the different finishes, the satin finishes, the circulation strikes, the proofs. I mean, there are so many different issues that, I mean, who knew you couldn't break up a mint set? Obviously, I knew this, but you can't break up a mint set and submit the coins and get the circulation strike. No, you get satin finish on half the coins because they're made specially for the mint sets. So you literally have to go find rolls of 2021 Lincoln cents and 2021 Washington quarters as part of the collection. So, you know, and I'm going to show my hand on this. We're missing lots of 2021 issues. So if you have 2021 issues, they don't need to be the finest gnome, because I'm not going to pay an exorbitant number for an MS-70 2021 Jefferson nickel, even though it might be really rare. I have not looked at the pops and I don't really know. But yes, we need many 2021 issues. But some of these coins have been harder to find than any of the others because there are none graded, or, you know, they're not exactly easy to find $7 coins on eBay. I mean, most people don't want to sell that and eat the shipping costs. But yes, 20th century issues or 21st century issues are very important.
Alrighty.
Worth getting graded. I thought it was about completion. You're right. It is about completion. But I don't know where to go get a roll of 2021 Lincoln cents. My bank has not been very friendly about that. I will be completely honest about that. I mean, I know dealers that were looking for the 2021 Maya Angelou quarters and rolls because they wanted to give them out in promotions. You know, that's a very good question. I think that if we were talking 20 years ago or 30 yeyears ago, when you could go to the bank and get rolls of, I mean, Kennedy has. I used to get rolls of Kennedy has and sort out the silver. Yes, they're worth getting graded and being able to find them. Sure, I'll put in $15 to get them graded, but I have to find them first. And that can actually be a really tough challenge, especially in this post-pandemic Bureau of Engraving and Printing and U.S. Mint world. I mean, banks don't even take change now in many cases. So it's a greater challenge than just getting them graded, unfortunately.
Can you not get them from the Mint to submit?
Long story. Yes, yes, you can get some of them from the Mint. Yes, correct.
All right. So we have, okay, never mind. We got a few more in the Q&A. We are getting close to the end of the questions in the Q&A, so feel free to send more in if you have them. We can stay until 1 if you all continue having questions. There is someone in the audience with their hand up. So we are not like promoting you to speak, but you are welcome to send anything you would like to share in the Q&A. And if it's a question, we will read it out. Since John is also looking at the Q&A screen, if you are sending like comments, he could see those as well. So we're not necessarily reading those out loud. Levi, thank you for that one. Just wanted to share that. Okay. So is he collecting modern commemoratives?
100% yes. We have most of them. I'm looking forward to the Negro Leagues baseball coming out. I collect baseball themed coins, and those are some, I thought they're beautiful historical issues. And as a baseball historian, I thought they were kind of cool. So I don't have one of those yet. So we have to get one soon.
Does Hansen maintain a numismatic library? And if so, what is in it?
Oh my goodness, this guy reads more than anyone that I've ever known in my entire life. I think the benefit of his personality is he really does not require much sleep. And I say that in jest, but you know, most of his collecting was done, and this, I don't think this question happened in the video, but we asked it and it just didn't make the cut, is that most of his collecting was done in the middle of the night, sitting out on his porch from 11 o'clock to 3 in the morning on his iPad and doing research. So obviously he doesn't require as much sleep as the normal human being, I guess. But you know, his hobby is reading. This guy, I brought him a couple of books at one point on a visit on maybe a Friday night, and then I went to some dinner with him, and then he had read the book by the next day. And I'm talking, you know, 150-page book on some series or something, and he starts talking to me about it. And honestly, I hadn't read the book. So his library, we have some books in the downstairs in the vault, but they're more, it's not necessarily research books, but he reads so much. He's read through PCGS coin facts. He's read through so many reference books that he can sit there and carry on a conversation with you about some of the more arcane and small items that, like, wait, how do you know about this? But he loves learning. He is a passionate learner of all things. So when he gets into something, it's not just on the surface of things. He dives deep into them. So, you know, he sometimes speaks a little bit, his brain moves faster than his words. So sometimes it may seem like, does he really know what he's talking about? But I now understand where his wavelength is when he's talking about coins. I'm like, he might be messing up the date when it's coming out, but he knows exactly what he's talking about. And he is one of the more astute numismatists as far as research that I have met in recent years that people would not expect.
Alrighty. Does Mr. Hansen have a public list of what he's looking for? I believe this means for like modern issues. I think it'd be pretty cool if we littler collectors could help him out if we have one. How cool would it be to say you helped one of the greats assemble his collection?
Best way to see what he has actively is to go through the PCGS registry sets, click on a collection, and in many cases it's in the top 5, and it'll say DL Hansen Collection or something like that, and you can actually look through what he has. So you can, and it's a really neat way of displaying your collection is through the PCGS set registry, and you can see what he's missing. If you have upgrades that would fit in his collection, happy to work with you on it. I mean, shoot me an email on it, give me a call on it, whatever. Email's typically the best because, you know, I might email you back at 2 a.m. But that is definitely the best way of finding out things that he's missing depending on the set. Or, I mean, if you're a person that deals in mostly modern material and you have 2020 or 2021 issues, yeah, please reach out to me. Make my life a little bit easier.
Alrighty. We're back down to, nope, I lied. There's more in the Q&A. Good deal. We now have 2 hands up. So for both of those, send whatever you have in the Q&A. We are not like having anyone else on the microphone to speak. So just wanted to let you know, we see that. Please send it in the Q&A. Okay, Eliasberg exhibited his entire set at the US for the bicentennial. The 250th anniversary of the US will be in 2026. Any thoughts?
Have a contact at the Mint that we can work with. Then send me a contact. We'll talk. I would love, I think that's something that could really get Deloy excited about. I mean, when we did the display at the Utah State Capitol, he was on the commission for the 150th anniversary of the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad, as we talked about in the video. And when the state of Utah reached out and said, we want to have a display of coins that would have been transported across on these rails, can you guys work with us? That was super fun. We got to, the Golden Spike was on display with his coins, and you know, and you could walk through the state capitol and see it. Yeah, I mean, we'd love to do something like that. I mean, that would be a huge project. I mean, we've asked the ANA to actually come to Salt Lake City for some of their big ANA shows and said, okay, you know what, if you did something like that, we might could have some fun with some really cool coins on display. But unfortunately, or Virginia Beach, great place for a midwinter ANA show, guys. We could certainly, logistics become the big issue. So yes, would love to do that in 2026. Hadn't even thought about it, but great idea.
And just to clarify, the person asking that did follow up saying that it was displayed at the US Mint. That was separate. I hadn't seen it before reading that out. So yeah. For people listening. Hey,
we'll take them all to Philadelphia. We'll figure out how to do it.
Do you have an interest in shipwrecked coins for their historic value?
Yeah, I mean, we have a number of shipwreck coins in the collection. I mean, Brother Jonathan, SS Central America. I don't know if we have any Republic coins because most of those are in NGC holders. But yes, I mean, that we've bought a number of them. We haven't, the 57S5s. Yeah, I mean, we have a number of shipwreck coins in the collection. And Deloy loves the history of the shipwrecks and everything else. But, you know, we didn't end up buying any of the bars or anything like that. It didn't quite fit in with the theme of what we were doing at that time.
Alrighty. Then I think we've made it to the end of the list again. So we have one more in here. Go ahead and send in any other questions you have. In the meantime, we have this one, but I'm not quite sure what to make of. Are any of the Hansen coins haunted?
Ask that one again next Halloween, I guess. Are any of them haunted? Who, the anonymous attendee that's asking this, I'd love to know who's asking this. It's probably someone in our office. I do not know any stories of coins being haunted that we own. That's going to require further research. And I'd love to know any stories of people that own coins that are haunted. That'd be kind of a fun little article to write and talk about. I've never heard of a haunted coin, but sure, why not? Let's find out. Let's do some research.
To whoever asked that, if you have any follow-up on that question, feel free to send it in. Let's see. Do you ever buy NGC coins and plan on crossing them over?
Oh my, tough question. The foundation of the collection was, it started out, it wasn't just buying PCGS coins, but Deloy, when he found kind of his focus on how to best assemble the collection software related, was that the PCGS set registry at the time was the best software available to collectors that he could find. And that was why he settled on PCGS coins, was simply because of software. So do we buy NGC coins to cross over? Deloy has bought 3 or 4 coins for that, maybe 20 out of 12,000. And we have crossed them over at times, but we do not ever buy coins with the intent. I mean, yes, he has bought coins with the intent of crossing over, and sometimes they have just not crossed. And I think we have gotten away from that because he doesn't know what to do with the coins that haven't crossed. We end up with them at David Lawrence because there's still a value to the coin. And I would argue many times that, there's some coins don't need to cross. It's still a great coin. Same with CAC. Some coins are never going to sticker, but they're still great coins. So we'll sell them with them. Happy to disclose any of that if anyone's asking about a certain coin. There was one coin that we did that I bought. It was an 1864 S5 in NGC AU55 with the intent of crossing over because it was when we had a hole in the set. And that coin, we did not have any example of that coin, rare coin, and ended up, we tried to cross it over 2 or 3 times and ended up crossing over as a PCGS AU53. One day that coin should probably be back in the 55 holder because the coin was really nice. And that was a good coin and it fit into the hole there. Another coin, and I didn't argue with PCGS about this, but there was an issue with this. It was the 1885 proof trade dollar. That coin we bought in a heritage sale, as you guys saw. It was in an NGC 66, proof 66 holder when we bought it. We knew the coin would cross over. The coin was amazing. Everybody that looked at it said this coin's a proof 66. Bought it at the fun auction. To get into the set, we had to cross that coin over because it was the finest known. No matter what, it's the finest known of that date. And if we're going to buy the finest known, that was one you had to buy. There were no 65s. Well, PCGS crossed it over as a 65 plus cameo, ultra cameo. And, I'm at a loss. Coin 66, beautiful coin. Everyone agrees. I have a CAC sticker, had a CAC sticker. Out of the 66, should have crossed. So 2 examples of coins we've crossed over, and 2 examples as to why we don't buy coins that cross over, because grading is still a subjective art. And there's a lot of politics involved in that historically. So, DLRC will buy NGC coins, Deloy will buy NGC coins, but we never buy them with the intent of crossing over, except for those 2 instances.
Alrighty. Wondering how you manage massive CAC submissions. Wouldn't it be simpler for them to come to you in Utah?
Thank you for that question. CAC has only had one time in their history that they graded off-site, and that was at a show right after they launched, and they swore off ever CACing or grading coins again outside of their native confines of the grading room that they have. So it's a challenge, it's a logistical challenge. We have actually not had the coins reviewed by CAC since we had them holdered. We have a tentative plan that we're trying to work on for that. But yeah, that's one of the challenges of a collection like this. I've always argued with people, collectors can collect whatever they want, and this is more of a philosophical thought, was that the CAC sticker doesn't really matter except when you're buying and when you're selling, not necessarily when you're owning it, because you might really like the coin and the sticker adds value to it, but does the value really matter if you're not selling it or buying it at that point? So at some point we would absolutely have to get them reviewed, and we'd love to do it now. So John Albanese, if you want to come, let's go. I'm ready to go. But it's a big challenge. And yes, it would be easier if they came to Utah. But that's another challenge in and of itself to work out the logistics, to have CAC feel like their standards of grading can be the same there as well. That, consistency and standards of grading are what are of the most importance to people that are grading coins. So that's you're dealing with a number of issues that you just have to make the perfect match, and that's something we're working on currently.
Let's see, is there any particular coin that you simply collect as many as you can, i.e. hoarding, without simply seeking the finest knowns?
Wow. I don't think we're hoarding any dates. Coins, but the whole goal of what we've been doing, deaccessioning coins from it, is so that we wouldn't be considered hoarders. No, we're not hoarding any dates or any mint marks or anything like that. It's a good question. I never thought about that. You made me think. No, we haven't hoarded anything. He did at one point try to buy as much Charlotte and Dahlonega gold that he could, as far as he just loved it. He would not sell any of the pieces that he had. And he has 3 or 4 1861D gold dollars. And for any of you that know me, know that is my favorite issue growing up in South Carolina. A coin that just has a great history. And I'm like, I have so many customers that want an 1861D gold dollar, but I can't pry one of the 4 out of his hands. So that was a coin that he wasn't hoarding, but he just did not want to sell yet.
Okay, we have a couple questions in here that may be from the same person because they are anonymous, but asking something to the effect of, why does he prefer PCGS coins now over NGC or other grading services? But
it's just to have everything the same. It's literally to have everything the same and to be able to fit into the PCGS registry software. There's nothing against NGC. There's nothing against any other grading service at all in this conversation. It's literally because it gave him a goal to work towards and to focus on. And that was the power of the PCGS set registry when he started, is it hook, line, and sinker just reeled him in. So there's nothing against anything with other coins. It's just he wanted, Deloy is slightly competitive. And it gives him the opportunity to compete when everything's the same, and that's there's absolutely nothing wrong with the other. It's just personal preference, and it gave him the opportunity to further his goals. That was his goal that he set.
Alrighty. Whoever asked about the haunted coins, if you have any legitimate stories about them, we have a call in the Q&A for you to give a presentation at a future symposium. Which we'd be happy to hear from you about. So, yeah. Okay, I believe that is all the questions. So if you have any other last minute ones, go ahead and send them in. We just have a few minutes left to cover them if you do. Otherwise, thank you so much to everyone who watched. We had a lot of fun putting this video together. John Brush was part of that as well. And thank you to John and your team and everyone there for letting us come and film and talk to Hansen. That was a wonderful addition to the video, I believe. So,
well, Leanna, we thank you for traveling and doing all the work and putting it together. I mean, you did a first-class job with it. And again, yes, we like to thank the folks in Utah that helped us and allowed us to do it. And that was a lot of fun. I mean, Leanna put all this work together, guys, and it's a testament to her abilities here and doing good work. Thank you. And thank you to Newman Numismatic Symposium. This is a fun opportunity to do something. And, I'm not the guy who's going to be the most polished person on camera, but this was fun and just enjoyed the conversations back and forth and just the opportunity to answer questions about it. So thanks for allowing us to do this.
Of course. Thank you for participating. And for anyone watching, the recorded video from the beginning of this will be up on YouTube probably by the end of the day. And then the recording of the full session with the Q&A here at the end will be up in about 2 weeks. after the end of the symposium. And you'll be getting an email when that goes up. There'll be an announcement on the website and on our social media. So it'll be with all of the other recordings. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. The next presentations will be starting at 1, so you should be able to go ahead and get in to both of those, and hope to see you all back at some of the other presentations throughout the symposium weekend. Thank you for joining us.